Hey, everybody! What's cooking? I just watched a video where a young man was complaining that his sister constantly was dominating him and crossing his boundaries, and that this has happened since early childhood. It was in this a spiritual video from Maharishika, a yoga guru, a female yoga guru. Yeah, and she sometimes says some interesting things. I think I sometimes watch her videos, but I'm not a yoga guru or a yogic person, y'all. Anyway, um, but this made me think about, you know, these deep patterns. The thing is, this man, he was then 30 years old, and he still complains about this habit, this relationship of to his sister, who is predatory and keeps dominating him. And this is a deeply inherited mechanism that is not easily to dissolve, and it can't stop, right? She is used to dominate him. She is used to decide for him. She is dominant, decisive, maybe manipulative, I don't know. But it's just a pattern and a habit, and she will not stop with that. And it makes him crazy. So there is also a war of the egos, right? There is this introverted man who feels annoyed and insulted and bothered and pursued and dominated and abused since forever. And he just can't, he can't understand it, or he can't change it. And this is the same in all narcissistic abuse. It's all a habit that has been established over a long time, and it's a relationship cycle. That is, if you then put boundaries in place, but you still are in contact or live under the same roof with these people, it don't work. You could only fight back and smash some faces, but then you just have problems with the legal system. So it does not work that way. They will never accept it, and as soon as you put boundaries in place, they will not understand. They will say, they will play victims now, because now it don't work anymore, and you don't accept it anymore. But they will constantly hoover you and retry and try another way. It's like scavengers, it's like prairie hounds, it's like jackals, it's like hyenas. If they want to eat something, they will not just simply give up, all right? So it won't change. It can't change. Even if you put boundaries in place, again, as I said, all you could do would be to smash some faces, but we're living in a world where that is not agreeable, okay? So this is and what I found interesting is this question, right? What was there first? How did it all begin? Was there first the predator or the prey? Was there first an introverted person who is living based on moral understanding and ethical laws, but lacks the ability to enforce boundaries, even if it compromises moral? If this man would be a savage and don't care about morals so much, and just would have slapped his sister early on, back when she does something, he corrects her, he's fiercely fighting, then the relation. So in other words, if he was another person, his life and relationship would be different, right? Of course. But we are what we are. So if we are a person with a moral core, an identity core, introverted nature, we live based on principles, and a trust in the right and in love and things like that, then we automatically might be compromised by aggressive behavior also from our own side. So I made the mistake that I always thought, I'm ready to defend myself physically because I'm stronger than most, plus I have martial art knowledge. So I should not be an easy target and most people will underestimate me, so nothing can happen to me. But if you meet a covert narcissist, especially when they are in a tandem with a psychopath, you can't confront a doormat. You can't fight a doormat, all right? You can't fight the king of the victims, all right? It's like a vulture, And again, physical violence versus mental abuse is a big problem in today's justice system, all right? The childcare system, the legal system does not consider mental abuse, the 1,000 cuts, the coercive control, the coercive persuasion, the ambient violence, the passive aggression. They don't consider this crimes. They don't see this. You can't prove this easily, all right? And if you take countermeasures and say, all right, I feel attacked, my nervous system is attacked. I can't live this way. I feel this is a physical defense, and now I'm physically defending myself. They will picture you as unstable and aggressive. Okay? So this is a kind of a leak, is a kind of a backdoor that narcissists and psychopaths use. Because, again, they don't have principles, they don't have honor, they're not honorable. They're not honorable. They are not proud. They have no real pride. They have the false pride. All right? They are, for them, the most filthy behavior, the most disgusting behavior is acceptable if it brings them closer to their goal, to their supply. Okay? And once these patterns and habits have been established, it's almost impossible to break them as long as you're still having contact. Because there is one person who has at one point allowed the crossing of boundaries, and the crossing of boundaries is now a habit. The parasitic colonization of another being has been done and is habitually not confirmed, it's reinforced. The person is used to use another person. It has always done. So why would it change now? So there is this man, 30 years old, and his sister has kind of learned that he is an extension of her. She can do with him what she wants. All right, and this can't change. You can just go no contact and block her out. That's the only thing you can do. And the same with narcissists and psychopaths. They will never accept it except if it would be legal to break them the nose or the face. You could, every time they do it again, do this, and this would be a solution, but it's not a legal solution, okay? It don't work that way. So that's why the only solution is no contact or taking legal actions. But again, legal actions don't work in most countries. In some countries, coercive control is now a crime, but most of these subtle mental abuse strategies and crossing of boundaries and basically disgusting, filthy, immoral behavior is just not a crime. And of course it makes no sense to criminalize this, because if you criminalize it, if you create patterns with a good idea, there will be again narcissists and psychopaths weaponizing this. All right, the narcissists and the psychopaths are the first to use this and weaponize it. In other words, victims need to be strong and learn also to go away, move away, remove themselves from predatory parasites. That's it. And then get away from this circling in this, they are in a nervous state or in a not understanding, confused state of how a person can be like that. How can they even exist being like that? They are upset. I don't find the right word in German, I would know it. They are upset about it. How can a person be like that? And try to understand all of this counterintuitive traits, like why is a person sadistic, why is a person dysfunctional but still hyper competitive, why is a person crossing boundaries, why don't they know what love is, why does a person that I help become backbiting, why is the covert narcissist a borderline doormat psychopath, why do hyenas like filthy, stinking carcasses? Why does the vulture like to feast on dead animals? We don't know, and we can never understand. Plus, they will use ambiguity. On top of this confusion, which all leads to more cognitive dissonance and misunderstanding, you as an empathetic, healthy person, you cannot understand pathological dead people based on your empathy, on your own understanding of living people, because you're a living person. You participate in the world, in reality. You have fantasy. You have reality. You have authentic connection to yourself and others. You have self-respect. You're living in a different world. You don't share the world with a narcissist or a psychopath. They are self-absorbed. They are lost. The narcissist is lost in a fantasy that he thinks is everything. That's why they think they are gods. But they are excluded from the world and reality and from the true connection to other people. The psychopath is disconnected from his or her own emotions, is disconnected from human values, from warmth, from empathy, from true intimacy. They are excluded from this and they are very angry, and that's the reason why they are predatory and parasitic. It's a compensation for that. And why would you try to understand that without clinical knowledge about pathology? You can only make sense of that when you learn about pathology, or if you don't want to learn about psychological pathology and these patterns, you need to learn about demonic entities or parasites. That's all the same. All right. So what do I want to say with this? Don't get lost in overthinking. They want you to overthink and try to understand them, but it's not possible based on your own experience and existence and identity. All right? You can't understand dead people when you try to fill it with the fabric of a living person. Oh, this is my black anima right there. Oh, it's just a normal human being. I'm not projecting on her. It's all okay. It's an individual. I looked at her, that was a little bit overreactive. You understand? We can't understand it. You understand? We can't. And it's a good sign that we can. It's a very good sign. We don't have to overthink. And on top of that, they use ambiguity to make us use our resources even more to try to understand them. They feast also on that. That's a form, they have many forms of supply. The narcissist and the psychopath, if they don't get the overt supply, which is your love, your services, your safety, your money, Then they take your confusion. You're thinking about them. You're trying to understand them. Your hate. Whatever your attention you give them, they will enjoy it. They will feast off that. You know, a scavenger eats anything. They eat bones. They eat rotten flesh. They don't care. They are so desperate. The covert narcissist eats any form of supply. All right? Even taking pain, self-destructive behavior, destructing themselves and others around them. That's supply, that's attention. That's something he can work with. Can we understand it? No, we can never understand it. Just let it go. You can only set boundaries when you're no contact. When you're in contact, you can't do it. You can only smash faces. I stop now.